I'm a driver, and I'm a flyer. I waited a long time for a shot like this.
What do you think? Well, what do you know?
All right. Hey, how's it going? A movie came out last week, and it should have been reviewed last week, but I had a lot going on. I am so sorry about that, but here I am. I'm finally going to discuss Solo, a Star Wars movie. Not Solo, the cup. Yeah, I actually carried this from home, rode on the 7 train, then on the W, then went into my office in the city just to discuss Solo, a Star Wars story, while using a prop. A lot of work just for a throwaway gag. Truly, I am the carrot top of the cinema review universe. So this is the non-spoiler version of Solo, a Star Wars story. Non-spoiler. I'll review with a spoiler later, but right now this is for anyone who hasn't seen the movie and decided to wait a week to see it. So going into the movie, I honestly wasn't expecting much. In fact, I was expecting to be more disappointed than anything else. And was I disappointed? No. In fact, it was better than I thought it would be. But it's not one of the better Star Wars films. And, that's fine. It's a side story. It's a side quest. In fact, this movie is different from, say, even Rogue One, because it had little to do with the Force, the Empire, anything. All that was actually the background. This movie, of course, is about a young Han Solo as he befriends Chewbacca, and he teams up with a bunch of outlaws. And the leader being Beckett, played by Woody Harrelson. Along the way, they actually meet Lando Calrissian, and I can't go any further into the story. I mean, in my humble opinion, I would actually say Alden... Let me see if I can actually say his name right. I'm hoping I didn't butcher his last name here, so if I do, sorry. Alden Ehrenreich. I'm assuming it's German. Alden Ehrenreich was Han Solo in a film. His girlfriend is played by Emilia Clarke. Alden as Han Solo. Alright, I guess he has that scallywag charm, but Han Solo he was not. I could see in some light he looked like Han Solo, and at the same time I understand he's a younger version of Han Solo of what we know, but I just wasn't feeling it. And the movie doesn't really do a very good job of explaining his upbringing either. It explains how he met up with a group of people and how he met Chewie. That's kind of more of the focus of the movie, is how he met Chewbacca and Lando Calrissian. Everything else is kind of things that happen around him. His acting as Han Solo is... That's pretty much all I have to say about the movie. It's... Emilia Clarke, she plays Kira, and she's the love interest of Han Solo in this film, and there wasn't really much chemistry going on between those two. I don't know if it was the actress and her stiff performance, or if it was just the two of them together, or if it was the writing. I just really didn't care. Probably didn't care because we know that she's not going to be around in the future because we've seen Star Wars. We've seen Han be with Leia, so it's like when you're watching Smallville and they spend the first 8 seasons of Clark Kent pining for Lana Lang, and deep down it's wasted because he's Superman. He's going to end up with Lois Lane. That's kind of how it is with Solo, a Star Wars story. You don't really feel like there's much danger going on or much of an impact for other side characters because we've seen Star Wars. We know what happens. At least with the prequels, yeah, they're telling a story that we already knew, but they're showing us from different angles and different small intricate spots of how it got to be where it was. With Solo, it's just more of a side adventure with Han Solo. There is a cool twist at the end, and I say cool to be overly positive, because when you see the twist, maybe it's just because it's been years too late, but just don't care. And I'm sorry, I really don't mean to say it in such a harsh way. Like, this is a good movie, and I would actually buy the Blu-ray, but this one, you can actually skip. You could actually wait for it to come out on Netflix. You're not really missing too much. I did love Donald Glover's interpretation of Lando Calrissian. Some might say it's over the top. When I saw Donald Glover on screen, I actually felt like that was a young Billy D. Williams. And it's really hard to determine where this movie takes place. We have to know that it exists before Rogue One, because Rogue One right away starts off into Star Wars: A New Hope. It has to be definitely after the Empire has risen. I'm just not really sure at the point, though, of the time frame, because keep in mind, between Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and Rogue One, we're still not fully sure where anything is. I mean, that's still at least a 17-year gap. So there's plenty of space to put other movies in, and for the stuff that they're planning on coming out with, I could see them trying to cram in as many films that would take place during that time era. Even then, though, like, let's say, for example, the movie actually took place in, hell, even 10 years before A New Hope. I don't think he would age that much. Like, this film would actually suggest that Han Solo aged 20 years within 10 years. We're not going to get Harrison Ford to play young Han Solo. At the same time, it's almost pointless to have all these side films. And what makes it problematic with the Star Wars universe we have now, there's not really much of a magic there anymore. I'm not saying the movies are horrible. It's just, there was a time where when Star Wars came out, it was once in a while, and it was actually a special feeling. Keep in mind, the original trilogy ended in 1983, and Star Wars Episode 1 came out in 1999. That's 16 years difference. People have been clamoring. The tension, the excitement had built up. Now we're getting Star Wars films every year. The spark and the magic is really dwindling because we're just getting an oversaturation of it. And yeah, alright, fine. It's nice to have Star Wars from different angles, stories told from different point of views. But I don't think it's a spoiler, but the Empire does get stopped. And of course, like, alright, if you've seen the Star Wars movies, I don't think it's a spoiler for me to say the Empire was taken down. And the New Order rose during Star Wars The Force Awakens, but we still know what happens. That's what I'm saying is, it's not really much of a tension. The twist I had mentioned, it's cool, and I would have been more excited for it if it was still 1999, but it's not. Too much time has passed. Again, the magic word or the magic phrase of this review, I don't care. Again, it's not the worst movie. It's not bad. I'm not going to say don't see the movie. In fact, go ahead. But you can wait for it to come out on Netflix. This is one of those movies where if you miss out on it in a theater, it's not the worst thing ever. I went to the theater to see it, and even though I wasn't expecting much of it, because I've seen every Star Wars film in the theaters. Well, the original trilogy, I wasn't around for that, but when they re-released it in the 90s with the special effects, yeah, I saw those movies. Yeah, I've seen every Star Wars movie that came into the theaters except for that animated Star Wars Clone Wars. That one was just more of a glorified TV pilot on a big screen, and I don't count that. That is my point of view. Keep a close eye out for my spoiler version, and have a good one.